affiliates, or financial supporters.
Hello, thank you guys for tuning in into Heavenly Sent Conversation. So I have some amazing friends online, and we are changing the narrative in regards to what I usually display on this podcast. We're going to talk about relationships because they're so prevalent nowadays. And so, first, I want to thank WVTC Radio for allowing me to host on this platform. And I'm so happy to be a part of a two-time Stellar Award winning station. I ain't say one, I said two-time Stellar Award winning online podcast station. And so I'll never forget going down to the awards two times and meeting all these gospel people that I see on TV. So thank you for that. And so with that being said, you guys know I'm Cynthia, and this is therapy for me. I've been gone due to some technical difficulties from Facebook with whatever they got going on, them delete my stuff. I think I figured it out. Nevertheless, yeah, we're gonna talk about relationships. And so I got a good friend of mine. I got Max, good friend of mine, Natalie, another friend, Catrice, and we just want to have some candid conversations about relationships. So that being said, I'll let Max introduce himself, tell you who he is, what he got going on.
Um, Man, well, I'm Max Julian from the west side of Chicago, serial entrepreneur. I have an event space. I rent out bouncy houses. I have a cleaning service. I have a security company. I dabble in real estate. I'm an artist, an actor, and a philanthropist. Yeah, that's it.
Natalie,
Oh. Hi, I'm Natalie of This Is Life nonprofit organization. Basically, I do a lot with the youth here in the city of Chicago. I am a mother of three, as well as a grandmother.
Catrice.
Hey everybody, my name is Shima. I go by Catrice on social media. Y'all so good. I ain't trying to help nobody in life. Y'all get nonprofit. I think that's amazing. I ain't trying to help nobody, but I keep up a lot of discussions on social media centered around relationships and dating, and the men be mad. So that's why I'm here. I give a little to
Yes, she do. Yes, she do. I met Latrice, y'all. I did a podcast at her storefront at the time. And so it's really nice. And so it's a delight to have her back again because she is that person that everybody be like, la, 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 la. So with that being said, we're gonna talk about relationships. So Max, I'm gonna start with you. What's your take on relationships nowadays?
Um, I mean, it's kind of like what we saying, what I was saying offline. Like, it's really like you have some beautiful relationships and you have some horrible ones. You know what I mean? But from speaking like as a single guy, right? It's all in perspective of who the single people. It's like it's a teaching moment, because I think a lot of times we try to parallel it to like how it used to be, and truth of the matter is we don't know how it used to be. We weren't there. You know what I mean? Like people always want, I want that old school love, and we don't know what the old school love really was defined as or how it was because we weren't actually there. But and I think it's beautiful. Like I think the journey, your journey is your journey, and like the relationship, the things that you go through, are to mold you into the person that you are to become for the person that you got coming. You know what I mean? So I don't think that things are bad. Because like I say, who knows? They probably been bad. They probably been bad from the beginning of the time. So like who knows? You know what I mean? Unless you got a grandmother or a grandfather that's like 100 or 89 or something. They used to. But once again, they're only telling you from their perspective. They don't know how the world was as a whole. You know what I mean? So I think that in its whole, like in its totality, like things just just gotta have a different level of understanding when it comes to that type of stuff.
Natalie,
Um,
what's your
yeah,
relationship status, Natalie?
single.
Okay.
I've been single since I divorced, and um, I just think relationships take a lot of work. I haven't been in one in a while. Maybe it's because it's my own choice. I'm not rushing. I don't think it's bad, but you just know what you want out of a relationship, so you don't want to rush into anything. You have expectations. I'm not saying they gotta have $1 million or anything like. I mean, if that's what you want, but you have standards, you have expectations, you know what you want. Um, my mom's been married for 46 years, so
Oh,
I know
wow.
what it's like to be around someone that's been married for a long time, that's been, you know, married for a while. So, just knowing what you want, know what to expect.
Thank you. Patrice?
Well, I'm single. I'm pro relationships and pro black love, right? Um, so I'm an advocate of people getting into healthy, loving relationships, right? I think people preach singleness too much, and they don't preach healthy relationships. And I think um, the reason being is because social media, and I play into the mess too, but social media has created this negative around dating and relationships, and everybody has just jumped on the bandwagon. And so I think that is really playing a role, because we see it every day and people are saying it every day. And so, but when you go and you live your everyday life, you're not necessarily experiencing that to the intensity that social media makes it seem, right? So I think everybody should be in a healthy black love relationship.
I agree. I think she's losing reception. So until she gets back on. Um Natalie, what do you think what's a deal breaker in a relationship for you?
I'm not cheating, and I'm not being mentally abused or physically abused. I'm not tolerating that at all. Zero. I have zero tolerance for that. The minute you think you're gonna scream at me, mentally abuse me, or tear me down, I'm walking away. That's a no.
Max, what you got for us?
I mean, outside of the obvious, the lying, the cheating, uh, manipulating, like somebody just with a closed mindset, like somebody with a fixed mindset, like it's super deal breaker for me. Like if you like people, when people tell me like it is what it is, that's a deal breaker for me. Like that lets me know you have a fixed mindset. Like it's over with. It's nothing really I can tell you or show you that you know is gonna change that. So like I'm kind of cool on the closed mindset. Like I need to be around someone or involved with somebody that's coming in as open as possible as they can be, because everybody has traumas and things that they come from, especially at this big age. You know what I mean? Like everybody has things that they come from, but being open enough as possible to try to build, like Natalie say, put the work in. You know what I mean? But if you're not, then I'm good.
Patrice?
Um, I am so sorry. What was the question? Because I'm like driving, trying to get home. My bad. What I want
No
to.
worries, we get it. No, we get it. So I asked, what's the deal breaker in a relationship for
Oh,
you?
deal breaker. Um, abuse of any kind, whether it be cheating, physical, emotional. Um, somebody that is not goal driven. Uh, yeah. I mean, of course they can't like do drugs, like, but like who's doing drugs nowadays at this age? Like who's doing cocaine? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody smoke a little weed. I don't, but you know what I'm saying? So, uh, yeah, the major thing. Oh, and I love attention and affection. So if you can't give me that, then you're gonna have to move around. I like love. So yeah, that means you don't like me. So I'm a bounce.
So, next, can trust ever fully be regained after cheating?
No, I think like I say, it's possible. It's possible, but once again, it's the willingness of the person you know that's dealing with the person that cheated on. So like if you're gonna be vulnerable enough to do so, then that makes it possible. If not, then no. Like, cause most times, like I say, most times people will say it can be, but they know deep down that it can't, and they'll give it excuse for whatever reason, whether it be love, it be lust, or situationship that they may want to try and give it a go again. But a lot of times people know deep down that they will not never trust a person again, and they won't even move in a space or with a mentality to try to even do so. Because like a lot of people have trust issues, like a lot of people do, whether they show it or not. Like everybody has it to a certain extent. You know what I mean? Like if the most secure person in the world calls their significant other at 3 in the morning and they was, and they don't answer the phone, that slight thought is going to cross your mind. You know what I mean? And whether you act on it or not, it may cross your mind. Like, and that's just human nature. You know what I mean? Because we know a lot of times what's going on at 3 o'clock in the morning on a Friday night. You know what I mean? Like, we know what's going on. So you may not act on it, but it may cross your mind. But like I say, insecurities and that it kind of just depends on what type of person you are. Are you willing to open up and allow that person to give them another chance to do so? So it can be regained, but I just feel like it just has to be on that person. Like, they got to be able to put the work in. Cause somebody might fuck you over again. They might do it over again. They might mess you over again. So it's gonna be rough.
Natalie, what's your take?
Um, it can be done, but that's gonna be some work because I ain't gonna lie, I don't trust people as far as I can throw them because people have shown me time and time again who they are. But a lot of times, if a person show you who they are, 9 times out of 10, that's who that person is. I'm sorry to say that, but once a person has shown you repeatedly who they are, best believe that's who that person really is. I mean, I'll give you a chance, but it gets to the point I can only give you so many chances, and once I'm done, I'm done. I mean, there's no more chances with me.
Wow. So with now we have social media, we have technology, everything is publicized, people taking pictures, people videoing this. What type of conversations? I think communication is the key to everything, and then the flip side is that it's communicating and um understanding what I'm saying, because I can talk to you till you blue in the face. If you're not comprehending what I'm saying is going one end at the other. So what type of healthy conversations do you think should be ahead in regards to starting a relationship with an individual? So should I say, okay, these are my deal breakers? Because I think most times, it's funny because Max talked about we can't talk about the past because we don't know who it is. But I mean, we don't know how it was back then. But now I'm looking at it like I think in conversations when you dating, I think that you should say, hey, this is a deal breaker. This is what I accept. This is that. That way, as it progresses, it ain't no confusions. And now you ain't got to be saying, okay, well, I didn't know that, or or whatever. So what do you guys think about that? Am I thinking too far or what? Because right now I'm overly intentional about everything I do. So like I don't have time for a pen pal. Like, okay, let's have a conversation. Let's sit at the table and let's talk about what it's gonna be. We're not gonna be going back and forth. Hey, how you doing? Good morning, beautiful. No, no, we're not gonna do that. Let's have a seat at the table and let's talk about it. Because we wasting each other's time. Other than that, that's business.
Yeah, nah.
Well,
Oh,
I, I'll say this. I think, I'm sorry, I think women need to learn how to better communicate with men in a sweet way. Case in point, um, as harsh as I may seem on social media, I'm very sweet to men that if I'm dating them, right? So in the event that they're doing something that I don't like texting, I'll say, sweetie pie, honey bun, don't you want to see my beautiful chocolate pretty face to FaceTime me? So then they're like, oh, okay, they're gonna call me, right? Giving them excuses, right? But everybody has dated different levels of people, right? And so, in order for me to not get aggravated, I need to be able to communicate in a way that doesn't come across to be me being aggravated, but them to understand what my needs are. And if I can do it in a sweet, loving way that they get it, and that they feel like, oh, okay, well, there. And if they don't do it, then that means that they don't like me and then I need to particularly move on. I think a lot of times us black women, we get so tired of stuff, myself included, that we'd be like, I'm not gonna put up with this, I'm not gonna put up with that. Like, what? Men don't like that energy. Like, they don't, and maybe Max Julian could attest to that. I don't think they like that energy. Whether you're right or not, they don't like that overly aggressive energy. Say it sweetly. Like, sweetie baby, don't you want to, talk to me in my sweet voice? Like, and it's not me being fake. I do have a sweet voice. So I think that there are ways that women can communicate as to what their needs are without it just being very like dismissive. And then if the man steps up and does it, right, then you know that he's interested. And if he doesn't, then to like, have him fall by the wayside. But everything ain't gotta be mean. We ain't gotta be mean to these men out here.
I
Like,
agree.
you know what I'm saying? Everything got to be mean. But I get why we're aggravated, though. I get it. As a woman out here dating, I understand why you are aggravated, but I've just taken the sweet approach. And it's just, it makes me feel better. It makes them feel good. So, yeah.
Allie?
Um, re- refresh my memory. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
So, no, so I was just saying that I'm intentional about what it is I want nowadays. Um in regards to relationships, because I think we waste so much time, and like Katrice was just saying, communication is so important, and not often women communicate our needs and our wants to men. We just expect them to think what we want, or cater to whatever it is that we're trying to get catered to.
Well, a lot of times, I guess for myself, and maybe I'm just the opposite. I just try to get a get an idea of kind of um when I want to feel the guy out to see where his head is and what he's talking about. I don't go in and saying I want this, I want that. You got to do this, you got to do that. I like to listen first, just to see like where the conversation is going. Like like you said, the good morning, beautiful. I mean, I'm too old. Not that I'm an old lady, but I get tired of him. I'm like, come on, man. Like
That's
I'm old.
rehearsed. I hate
Like
it.
I mean,
And I
I'll be
hate
50
that.
years old next year. Like I mean, I don't want to keep. I mean, how many times I'm gonna keep hearing that? You know what I mean? Like, come up with something else, huh?
Catrice, we just saying be intentional. That's cute. We love it, but I mean, I need more
I need
conversation.
more conversation than that. Or then you texting me. I mean, pick up the like people don't like to pick up the phone and talk anymore. They just like to text all day long. Like you can't pick up the phone and have a conversation. It's like I don't know. And then I guess I always hear that I have a look on my face where people are scared to approach me. It's not that I want you to be scared to approach me, but it's just I don't know, just my face is how I look. That's just how I look. It's not like I don't want you to say nothing to me, but I'm not gonna snap off on you. But I just want to get to know a guy. You know what I mean? Like I just want to get to know him first, and I'm not gonna give you my expectations right away because it may not even go anywhere. So it's the point of me even laying out what I want, what I want you to do or what I want. So first, let's see how far the conversation goes. Then, if the conversation goes on a little beyond that, then I'll like break down. Okay, X, Y, and Z. But I'm not gonna go in like and say, okay, I want this, I want that, I want a relationship because I might not even like you. I might not even want a relationship. I might just want to be your friend, you know. Because I tend to gel with guys more than females anyway. So that's just like a natural thing anyway. Even though it may not work out in a relationship, we can still be really good friends.
I love it. For some reason, y'all, I don't think that my live is open. Don't bother me. That's why y'all keep seeing me looking my head down. It's not being shared for whatever reason. So if one of y'all, if y'all got it, if y'all can share from y'all page and then I can reshare it. So Max, help us out. You know, you hear what we saying. And that's why I was my other friend, he at the he at the Bears game. He was like, I'll get on. I was like, no, it's too noisy. You're not gonna
Right.
distract. So help us out, Max, because right now we leaning on your understanding on this line.
I think we lost Natalie too. I'm in agreement, right, to a certain extent. I feel like most people on both ends, right, men and women, like to be talked to and not at. Um, you know, they want and a lot of times, like we want to come in with our expectations, but it's better. I think it's better to allow someone like Natalie was saying, like to come in that space, see how they're moving, and then decide if that's something that you want to be a part of. Because a lot of times when we come in a space with our expectations, that's what they are. There are expectations. They're not their expectations. Like this not what they're used to doing. And that's where the conflict kind of comes in at. Like it comes in where you as a woman or as a man, you expect a woman to do certain things and then they don't, but you if you're not even giving them the opportunity or having these intentional conversations with them about what it is that you want or how seeing how they usually move, because like they say a snake, expect a snake to bite you, expect a rat to be a rat, you know what I mean, like a lot of times we go in these spaces with people with these physical attractions to them and not paying attention to what they're actually doing. And because a lot don't care who tell it, right? You know what I mean? So people will tell you anything. They'll tell you anything. So it's more so you pay attention to their actions, and then you can see what type of person you is. Then you can kind of slowly but surely kind of put certain things or help them maneuver and become a version of a person that you can see yourself like being with in like a long term situation. But a lot of times, like people just it's more than likely gonna be like the battle of the sexes because I'm used to what I'm used to. You used to what you used to. I want what I want, and if you're not providing that for me, then I'm up, or you toxic, or And a lot of times, like people, they don't be toxic. They just toxic to you because that's not what you're looking for. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? A lot of times because it's somebody out here that like that. You know what I mean? Like I used to have a homie and his girl, they used to fight, and she loved it. She loved it. She used to love it. Like, and it was crazy to me, but because I'm not no abuser or nothing, but to see that how different people are, it's amazing. And I think a lot of times with how Catrice was saying, like with social media, because a lot of people don't pick up no book unless it's Facebook. You know what I mean? Like,
I like that.
so people understanding are so limited, and they learning how to be in a relationship or operate with other human beings based off what they're seeing from other people that don't even know what they doing. You know what I mean? Like, so we gathering information from people that don't even know what they doing or thinking or have a like it'd be so confusing to a certain extent. So sometimes you just gotta kind of take a step back. But in a relationship space, you gotta kind of give it give it a while to see what type of person you really dealing with. Cause like physical attraction, like I tell people all the time, like physically you'll get me, you know what I'm saying? But mentally that's why I stay at. You know what I'm saying? Like if I feel like you're mentally peaceful for me, I stay. But if like it's just a physical situation, then I might come around, but I ain't sticking around. You know what I mean? Because
Thank you for
like
sharing that.
yeah, like my mental part is more important than me. Maybe the younger version of me would have stuck around for because she nice looking or whatever. You know what I mean? But like now, I value my peace more than anything. So if you're like in a confusing space where you don't really even know what, or you think you know what you want, and you're trying to confuse me, then I'm kind of good on that. You know what I mean? And I think that's what happens in a lot of times in relationships. Like people try to force what they want or what they think they want from a person because, like, in truth, in all honesty, I feel like if you knew exactly what you wanted, you will have it. You know what I mean? Like you will have it in a certain extent. You know what I mean? Because that's what you want. That's what feels good to you. That's what feels organic and natural to you. But if a lot of times we go in these spaces thinking we gonna get, and not trying to say like somebody should dumb themselves down or belittle themselves, but they thinking we gonna get somebody, a guy or a woman that's gonna check all the boxes off, and that's like the truth of the matter is nobody out here perfect. Because if you not checking off all the boxes, how the hell you think he gonna check all the boxes off?
I love
So
it. So, help me define personal space and togetherness. So, in a relationship, we all need, um, I think in a relationship, we all need our personal time. And sometimes that can be misconstrued as possibly a form of cheating. When I say, hey, you know what? I need to get myself together. I got a lot going on. We need to, we need to not separate, but we need to detox from each other. You guys think that's healthy or not?
we're gonna let Catrice go first. She just got
Yes, I'm
home.
so sorry, guys.
You
Let's
good?
talk about
So
some
I'm a
scattering.
person that needs a little bit of space. So I communicate that, you know what I mean? So although I like to be up under somebody, by nature I'm a loner and I like to be in my comfy and I get overly stimulated very quickly. So and I'm not cheating. Like, you know what I mean? So if it's communicate up front, is saying, hey, I like to have my personal space. I may have a day where I'm just doing absolutely nothing, right? You know, and if that person should be okay with that, and then I'm gonna trust the person if they're the same, too, right? Because everything doesn't have to be we don't trust each other. Like we have to give people the benefit of the doubt. And until you show me that you're not trustworthy, then I'm gonna do my best to trust you. So I don't go into situations not having trust. I try not to. So relationship, shoot, it can't even get to a relationship. We got to talk about dating. you
Makes
know
sense. You did it.
yeah, there you got to talk about dating. Sometimes it don't get past. It doesn't even get past in order to be in a relationship, because a relationship is saying, hey, I want to be with you, you want to be with me. Dating is the hard one. I think relationships should be kind of easy when you have established that you guys like each other, and then you're going to work towards building something with each other and working out the kinks. But a lot of times you can't even get there because you're dating and it's just the dating is not working out. Yeah, so
Natalie, what
um
you got?
yeah.
Mm,
I'm happy you said that, Catrice, because that's typically how I am. Like I do so much and I be needing to get in my quiet space. And for some
Yeah,
reason I do that.
I
communicate.
think
I
I'm
mean, yeah.
I think I'm set in my ways because I've been by myself for so long now. I have my like I find myself being by myself so much. Like I don't know if I'm becoming like a little old lady or what. Like
Yes.
loud music and stuff. Like that stuff like irritates me. So it's like, you know, like my daughter and stuff. Sometimes she wanna play her loud music and stuff. I like cut that down. I'm like, am I getting old or what? But it's just like I'm in a point where I'm set in my ways. I think because I've been by myself so long. I'm not saying that I don't want to date, but I'm okay with. Let me say this. I don't care what nobody said. No woman wants to be by herself or man either. I don't care what nobody says
I
about
agree.
that.
I agree.
I will say that I'm not gonna sit here in front and say I like being by myself. But I also will say that I'm set in my ways where I've been by myself so long. I'm okay with being by myself. But that doesn't necessarily mean that it's okay not to be open to date anybody, if that makes sense.
It does.
Well, well, for me, I ain't miserable by myself, but I'm not okay being by myself because I've been by myself and I'm getting old. And so I don't want to be by myself. So I have to put forth an effort, and I think a lot of times when I hear women, they get so tired of they have been in toxic relationships and dating. One of the reasons why they're remaining single is because it brings them peace, and they wrap it up in I've been disappointed a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
And I've been hurt a lot. And um, I'm not saying that they shouldn't do that, but that's not solving the problem. You get what I'm saying? So for me,
Hmm.
what I had to learn is my feelings have been hurt. I've been disappointed, but I'm not going to allow those learning lessons. I like how Max Julian put it. It really is, and it takes the toxicity out of it when you look at it from a learning lessons. What did I learn about me? I learned that I'm a very loving person, and I have a love to give to the right man that is going to love me the way that I deserve to be loved. So that's something that I'm going to take away from this, whether it worked out or not. Does it hurt that it didn't work out? Absolutely, we're human. So, but I'm not going to be single because I have needs, right? You get what I'm saying? I'm not going to be an old lady in the house when I got all of this chocolatey goodness to show to the world. So at the end of the day, like, I think us women as well as men, if we just kind of change our mindset and say, okay, I'm not going to allow these situations to knock me from love, because I believe all of us deserve love and can get the type of love that we want if we do not give up on the that we can have it. And that's where that's what it is. People have given up on it because they just feel horrible, but it's not you can't get it. You just have. And so what I've asked God is for patience with.
Mm.
Help me understand men and black men. Help me to understand their mindset so I can have some sort of empathy and compassion, right? And so what I've noticed in terms of dating, I've been attracting men that are doing that, whether it works out or not. Like, I'm beginning to really understand men a little bit better, right? And then understanding myself better as to how I maneuver, with them. And I'm not making excuses for our black men, but our black men are dealing like with a lot of stuff, right? It doesn't excuse their behavior, because I still feel like that they should not be doing women wrong and vice versa. But I just see that they deal with a lot of stuff, and a lot of them don't really talk about it, or they're in therapy, which I love, but you don't necessarily see those sides of them. You just see the output of them cheating, or the output of them not loving on a woman, or the output. You don't see what's going on deep in the inside of them.
Thank you. Max, what you got for us?
Man, I don't know, man. Y'all just laid a lot. But nah, like legit, like to your question, it's kind of like in connection to what I was saying. Like you just you just gotta kind of know, give it some time to know what type of person you dealing with, right? Like far as you saying, like getting space, right? Like somebody asking for some space to get like to for somebody to not take that as like an indicator of you going to cheat or you going to do something negative. You got to know that type of person. You got to know what type of person you're dealing with. Like for you, so to have you got to have more like intentional conversations, because if you're the type of person that needs your space, right, you got to understand the type of person that you're dealing with. What if you're dealing with somebody that doesn't understand that you need your space, and then you just lay that on them? Because a lot of times that's what happens, right? We'll be messing with somebody, you like them, y'all get doing whatever, you know what I mean, and then you get to a point where you're overstimulated, right? You get overstimulated, and now I need my space. That ain't a good thing. It may be a trigger for him or her, you know what I mean, because they were raised differently from you. Something that I learned a long time ago, like I always thought because we were from the same neighborhood, we were all raised the same way. You know, and that's different. That's not the truth. Someone can be raised on the same block, probably next door to you, and be raised totally different than you. So that applies in relationships or dating also because that person may have a different understanding or a different upbringing when it comes to how they define connection, right? So if they define a connection by being up under your skin all the time, and then you lay this, oh, I will need me some space, I'm overstimulated, you may have just triggered that person to feeling or thinking that, oh, you're going to go cheat on me. You know what I mean? And it ain't that don't necessarily mean that's gonna be the reality of what the outcome gonna be, but in their mind, that's what they're thinking. So I think it always just boils down to like having super intentional conversations with the person that you involved with and kind of understanding them and ask them questions like how Catrice say, like guys and women, like we all deal with a lot of stuff that we don't talk about or we don't even know that we dealing with it, right? You know what I mean? Because a lot of times you will get in a situation and be like, man, I didn't even know I'd be doing that sometimes. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, like I was saying, like with the texting, right? I'm more of a like I will send one in the morning. Like, say if I'm talking to somebody, I will send one in the morning because I work early in the morning. I can't talk on the phone, but I will call. But even like during those times, like I may catch you at the wrong time. You may catch me at a bad time. You know what I mean? Like, so that's why I'm like a advocate for texting at times, but you can't build a real connection over a text message. Now I understand that, but you also got to understand some people don't know how to do that. Like they don't even know how to build a real connection with people because their whole basis of that has been probably a pen pal or a uncle or aunt that they have a relationship through letters going to jail. Like you gotta understand where a person has been, you know what I'm saying, to understand where they at. You know what I mean? And a lot of times we just see people as how they show up and then expect, oh, this guy, he's well put together. He has a career and he's, he has a nice car and he's, he did this and the third, but not even knowing all the internal issues or the gaps in his life that he hasn't took the time out to fill. Because a lot of dudes, like other day I was talking to my homie and he 40, 42, don't know how to cook. Like how you survive this whole time? Like, it's like, but these are things that people doing because he restaurant or he was with a girl for
Yes, sir.
15 years. They used to always cook the food, and then here you come. They separate, and then you come and hear this guy. You like, what's going on? And then not saying y'all, but like somebody that may be a deal breaker. Like how you don't know how to cook. How you don't know how to pick a restaurant? I ain't never been to a restaurant. I had never had to go to a restaurant. My aunties, my everybody cooked for me before. You know what I mean? So I just think to get you gotta ask those questions about people's backstories, their upbringings, how they relationship with their father was, how they was with their family, you know, even in a certain like in the dating phase, like try to go around their family, you know what I'm saying, and see how they operate with their family. If they detach from their family, then it might be some more deeper issues there. You know what I mean? Because it's a lot of stuff that we gotta unpack as a race, you know what I mean? And that we don't, and we just brush it up under the rug and we just act like we okay because we're so used to taking things in whatever capacity it is and just going on with life. And that's why a lot of relationships and connections and dating be struggling because we don't never really be talking about what's really going on. We don't get to the meat and potatoes. We just be, oh, she thick, he fine, it was good, girl, or whatever the case may be, you know what I mean? And that's how we a lot of times we define it until we get overstimulated or we start spending a lot of time with this person, and then we like, dang, he don't do this or she don't do this, and then we start laying them things on them, and they like they don't even know how to tell you, like, I don't even know how to, like, a lot of people not gonna openly tell you like, oh, I don't know how to do this. You know what I mean? It takes a different type of person to be honest enough or transparent enough to be like, I just don't know how to do this. You know what I mean? Like, and what do you do with that? Like, how do you, as a person on the other end receiving that message, like, how do you help them operate in that space? Like,
Well, see, that's why I said it go when I earlier said, everything for me is about communication and to be intentional about my communication with people because you with somebody 3 4 4 months and then you realize that a lot of things that you seek in a relationship, none of it fit the bill. But had you been intentional, I'm sorry, in the beginning about an open conversation, I think a lot of things can be revealed because you can't fake body language, and then you either know or you don't. And for me, I can tell within 30 seconds if I'm interested in the individual based on what they say in their body language, and just certain stuff that I say. And so that's why, again, I don't have time for the pen pal, the back and forth. We not seeing each other because, like, how would I get to know you if I'm not spending time with you? And like you just said, Max, around you, and things of that sort. So my next question to y'all is, how soon is it okay for the person that you're dating to meet your children?
go ahead.
Because y'all see what's happening. Y'all on the internet like I am. These some of these people getting with people and they letting them keep their kids a week after being with them, 2 days, 3 days. They killing their kids. They molesting the kids and all kind of stuff. So when do you at what point in the relationship do you think? Because like my
My
son is
kids are
17, and I got friends that ain't never met my son. They probably seen him on social media, but I got friends that ain't never been in the company of my son because although they my friend, they don't fit the bill that I'm looking for in regards to introducing them to my son. If that makes sense, it is what it is.
Makes perfect sense to me.
my kids are grown now, so
If they were younger,
when they were okay, even when my kids were younger, I could count on my hands how many people my children actually met. And to be honest, I want to say two people probably outside of their fathers. I don't bring people around my children, especially if it's not going nowhere anyway. What's the point of me even introducing my kids to anybody? Me and you can meet on the outside of the household. We don't have to come to my house or, however you want to do it, vice versa. I don't introduce people to my kids, especially if it's not anything serious. What's the point of me introducing you to anybody? We can just, keep that private. You don't even got to know who my kids. I don't have to know who your children are, especially if we don't even plan on. If it's like not even anything serious, what's the point of introducing, my kids to you? I mean, honestly, what's the point? I think people sometimes rush it, but that's one thing about me. I don't. If it's not going anywhere and I know it's nothing serious, I'm not about to introduce you to my kids at all. That's no.
Yeah, I agree with her. Like for real. Like, I really don't. I don't think it's a time frame on it. Like, I don't think it's like, oh, in 6 months or 90 days you're gonna meet my kids. Like, I just think it's whenever you feel like how she said, like you're that person that I feel comfortable enough, or like I feel like you can add something to the dynamic of what's going on, or because a lot of times, like, people be slow, man. Like, for lack of better words, like sometimes you done met somebody, you just attracted to them, and it don't be that, you know what I mean? So you like, I'm not bringing you around and I have a daughter, I have a 15-year-old daughter, so you know, it's been one person that met my daughter, you know what I mean? Like, so because I'm, you know, more cautious of the women influence that she has, and like you say, people meeting them weeks in a week, and because a week isn't a lot of time, but like you can kind of gauge what type of person they are, or if you want to bring them around your kids. Like, I had women that I've dated before that that was a issue for them, and they was like, "Well, I never met your daughter," and like I say, a lot of times people won't up and tell you like, "Well, I don't think you the person to meet my daughter." You know what I mean? Like, because you kind of want to, fill them out a little bit more, and you want to be nice, and you know what I mean. But you like, yeah, I don't think you're gonna make it to that stage of the relationship or the dating phase. Like, and a lot of people just won't say that, and I mean, I'm guilty of it too. Like, I'll just be like, oh yeah, last time I was with her, you was busy or something. You know what I'm saying? Like it just makes something up, But like I say, once you have those conversations with people and be around them and see how they move with their people, you will know it. I don't think it's a time frame though.
Thank you, sir. Patrice.
Well, my son is an adult. I didn't date when he was younger, so I don't know that dynamic about introducing a man to my son. I didn't date when he was younger. If I'm just gonna, I would say this for me. I'm dating because I have to be realistic because I had a kid young. I have to be realistic at this age group. A lot of men don't have grown children, so they have children, and so I'm finding to be dating men that may have children. Um, and I would want them to introduce me to their children, you know, very soon. You get what I'm saying? Because I would want to make sure that I would want to stay in the life of the kids, right? So I don't think that it's wise for people to introduce this man, that man, or this woman and that woman to their children, you know. Um so,
I I got back. I mean, I got a lot of backlash on something that I posted on social media. And again, we have to guard our space. We have to guard our mental. We have to do what's best for us and all of the above, right? So I said I'm not interested in dating any men who have kids under 13, 14, 15, because it comes with so much. I'm not saying all men, but right now where I'm at mentally, I can't deal with a man that got small children because you got to deal with the baby mama. You got to, it's just too much for me. And they was like, oh, but you got a son. No, no. And I'm like, okay, yeah, I do. But your preference is your preference. My son grown. And again, like I just said, my son probably will never meet you, you know, and if it do, it may be over the phone. But I mean, that's just where I'm at right now. Because like Natalie said, where we at is where we at. Like I don't have to bring you into my house because we're dating. So you know what I'm saying? I'm not saying in the future, but you guys kind of understand what I'm saying. Like no time soon. So and like what you just said, Catrice, I'm not interested in meeting I'm not interested right now. I don't have the mental capacity for that.
yeah, because I want to make sure that if that happens, that means to me that we're serious because now I got to incorporate them into my life, and I have to know if I want to be a step mama. I'll be talking about stepdaddy. My son is 26 years old.
Seriously.
But seeing what I so what I this is what I've realized, and I'm not trying to so I'm 46, but I look younger, and so I have a tendency to attract younger men. And I'm not trying to say it like that. So because of that,
Man, toot your horn, girl. Toot the.
no, because of like I had to up the age to 40 to 50, right? So men that are a little bit on the 40, they may have younger children. So I said, okay, this is what I told God. I don't want to limit myself because of course the preference would be to date men that have grown children. But then those men are old men. You get what I'm saying? So because
Totally.
I had a baby young. So it's very, very rare that I meet men in my age group that has had children and the child is grown, right? They may have a teenager, right? You get what I'm saying? Or they may have smaller children because they may have been married and blah, blah, skip do today. So I said, okay, well, I don't want to limit myself. My preference is this. But God, whoever you have for me, whoever I'm supposed to be with, give me the grace to deal with it, right? You get what I'm saying? Give me the grace to deal with it. But of course, our preference is that, but it is going to limit us unless, do you like old men?
Of course. So that was going to be one of the questions that I would ask you guys. What
Oh,
the
only
youngest you would date? Yeah, only old man. I can't.
when we say old men, we talking about 50 and 60. I can't do that.
So for
Why you
me,
can't date 50?
probably I think maybe 40 and up.
Okay, so 40 and up. So we're gonna have a real conversation. So what I find is, and I'm not a cougar, right? Because 40 is only for 5, 6 years. All I'm saying is the 50 plus men that I've seen, I'm not attracted to. I'm just keeping a buck. I'm just not. I'm not saying they're not out there. I just have not encountered them, or they're not trying to talk to me, or they're like 58. It's like, you're my daddy's. My daddy's passed away. Like, you're older. Like, so I like men in my age group, 40 to 50. Um, and if you like 40 to 50, then you're gonna get a variety. So what I'm saying is that if you're making an assumption that they may have trouble with the baby mama, they may not have trouble with the baby mama, right? Because guess what? If somebody had a dated me when I when I was, with my son and younger, or there was no trouble. Well, I take it back. When my son, let me switch it. When my son's father was dating, I could care less. Good, take him. I don't want to be with him. Listen, the girl that you cheated with, as long as you treat my son good, we good. Have a conversation, sweetie pie. You can have him. I don't want him. That's
Maybe
why.
I let social media traumatize me because that's all I see.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like, no, do you? But I would say, because I know that you're a godly woman, like, Lord, let me be patient who I'm supposed to be patient with,
You're
right?
right. You're
And
right.
so at the end of the day, like, if an old man that looks good to me was to come to me and that's who I'm supposed to be with, then I'm gonna be with the old man. He can't be no older than 55, because then, like, you my daddy age. Like, you get what I'm saying? And my daddy long gone past. So that's what the realization that I had to come up with. Like, these cute younger men, a little few years younger men, like some over here. So
I get it because I was just telling a friend I had a guy. He's 35. He's 35. He got a great job downtown.
mm-hmm.
He concealed and carry in this big corporate building. He cooked. He got his own place. And she was like, "Don't talk to him. He ain't." And she was just on it. And I was like, and so he dates older women. And I was telling her like,
Girl, these yeah, they don't be broke. I know there's a misconception. I'm not.
so I'm like,
I
okay.
can't do 35 though. That's too young. I could do 40, 40 to 50. Maybe you gotta look nice at 50.
I said hang out anyway. Natalie, what's your take? I didn't say I was gonna get it anyway. Natalie,
Right.
your take.
I don't know because I'm lost because I don't like old men and I don't like younger men.
What's old and what's
So
young?
I don't want no 60-year-old man.
Okay, and what's young?
I don't even think I want to date 40.
What you gotta give us the age?
Don't knock the 40.
You gotta give us the age. You said 52 old and 40 young.
No, I said 60. 60.
60, oh yeah.
Okay.
60 old. So what age? So what's your age bracket?
I don't know. I'm being honest. I really don't know, but I know I don't want no senior citizen because
There you go.
example,
You ain't
what
wrong.
happened to me the other day, I was at the gas station. This older gentleman to me came up to me looking like Fred. Remember Fred Sanford, the episode with them rings on his hand? And he had the little, the little hat on. I was at the gas station. He gonna come up to me talking about, yeah, I do real estate. And then he gave me his card. I said, sir, I don't own any property at this moment. He's like, yeah, but you can still take my number and call me. Sir, Grandpa, I am not calling you. That's number one. I am not giving you no call. I don't even know why you gave me your phone number.
Natalie, we was trying to put you on to real estate. You look
Cynthia,
like a potential buyer.
Cynthia, I ain't got time for Fred Sanford with them rings on his hand. And you know how Grandpa used to have them hats? No, ma'am. No, ma'am.
Lord.
Max, what you
No.
got for us? Hilarious.
Snap. The youngest, 35 and up, like 35 to like, um, I don't know. I ain't never really put a thought into it. I was trying to think of a limit. I don't want no senior citizen either, but like I say, it's your willingness. You know what I mean? Like, you don't know who for you. You know what I mean? You just don't know. You know what I mean? your concealed carry might be that one. You know what I mean? And you,
Hey,
Right.
listen, I wasn't. That's what she was talking about. I'm gonna see. I'm gonna
yeah,
see
see what's
what's
to it.
under
You know what I
But
mean?
I'm gonna
Like,
say, but I've dated 4 years younger than me, I think, or
You said
five,
40 years younger. What, he was 10?
or five, huh?
You said 40 years younger.
4.
Than me.
4 years.
Oh, woo.
Four.
I got a little
4 years
nervous.
younger than me, or five. That was the youngest.
Yeah,
Mm.
that's
But
that. I dated
but
somebody 6 years, and that kind of opened up the door. Like, okay, because when we think about it, it's really not that bad because it's still you're still in your 40s, right? You get what I'm saying? So I think sometimes we do put like limitations on stuff. So for
We do.
me, what am I comfortable with, right? And then also, what is the reason that I have this stipulation, right? So if a younger guy, somebody tried to talk to me that was 35, he didn't have no kids. So now the insecurity kicked in with me, right? Because I'm like, you see on my dating profile how old I am. He was like, no, I know. And I say, you like old women? He was like, I date older women that look nice. Okay. But then I'm like, you don't have any children. You may want children later on in life, and that's not what I want. So that's an
Mm-hmm.
insecurity for
Did you
me.
say that to him?
Yeah, I did. I
Okay.
did. I also tried to hook him up with somebody his age, and he got offended. He was like, I'm not a best. I'm not a football. You can't pass me around.
Wow. Really, Catrice?
No, no, no. I was there because I felt like that he was a nice guy, that he had his stuff together. And I don't mind if I don't think you for me and I think you're cute and handsome, why can't I pass you along? Me and you didn't date to somebody that I feel may be better for you. But I guess he got, and I meant the sweetest intentions because I think we should do more of that. Like, you get what I mean? If you got a guy friend that you feel like ain't for you and y'all haven't dated, why can't you say, you know what, I know somebody, Catrice, you may be good for her. But he wasn't trying to hear that. I think he saw it as a rejection.
Of
But
course.
but
He
I
definitely was hurt.
no, but at the end of the day, like, I don't want to stop you from wanting children later on in life, even though you say that you don't. You're very young to still make that decision. Like, you get what I'm saying? If you were like maybe 50 or something like that, then that would be a totally different story. But at 35, your needs will change. And I don't want to feel bad that, oh, at 46, I can still get pregnant, but I who knows what issues that I may have, right? You get what I'm saying? So I don't want to deal with that. I would rather deal with somebody who is older, but not a grandpa, right? Or somebody who may have their kids, preferably grown, but if not, then we don't have to have those discussions about having children. So I said all of that to say you really don't know where love is going to come.
I
You,
agree.
and so I would have never thought that I would have dated somebody 6 years younger than me, but I did. So now I feel comfortable dating somebody that is a little bit younger than me now, right? And that has opened up those particular possibilities that I didn't necessarily think that was there because of that particular experience.
So I need to open my mind because my past trauma I see got me boxed in. Nevertheless, and so sometimes you have to talk. This is therapy for me. So with that being said, this is the last question. I appreciate y'all time. So the final question, Natalie, what's your love language?
what's my love language?
Yep.
She don't know. No, just kidding.
You ain't lying, cause I don't know. I'm not saying I'm not an affectionate person, but I could be. Um,
So let me say this. So I went to Pasadena probably like 15 years ago, and he was talking about all these different books, and Greg Chaplin, Five Love Languages. And so 10 years ago, that book has never left my membrane. And so now I live with that book. And so, for instance, your love language could be, I'm just throwing some out there. Your love language could be acts of service, right? And then, but this man giving you gifts, that's not my love language. See what I'm saying? So it don't match. Like, he's thinking he's doing a great deed, but that's not one of your languages of love. And so now when I meet people as it progresses, I always be like, what's your love language? Because I want to make sure I'm giving you what you want as opposed to what I think you should have.
but
So
that's what I'm saying. I don't think I'm really like, okay, if say for instance a guy
okay, wait,
don't
let me
buy
tell
me.
you what it is. So, love languages: words of affirmation, acts of service, receiving gifts, quality time, and physical touch. You can have
That's
one,
what
two.
I'm trying to tell you, Cynthia. I'm weird. I think something wrong with me.
You're not weird. You
At
just
all.
serious.
out the
I'm
game.
I just think I don't because okay, I'm gonna just say this. Long as you can take care of me, it doesn't have to be always like
Provide.
financially. Be able to provide
So
me with
active
security.
service, is it safe to say active service?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can say that, I guess.
Okay.
And I guess because, and I guess, and I'm saying that because what I've seen, like my mother, like I told you, been married for 46 years. So I've watched my father take care of my mother. Like she doesn't have to want for nothing. She's catered
Active
to. She's
service.
taken care of. My grandmother when she was here, her husband did the same thing. I saw. I grew up with family members that, and my aunts, their husbands, active service, like you said, they take care of them.
There you
That's
go.
all I see in my family.
You ain't
I don't
lying.
know.
That's what it is.
I
It
don't
is
know
what it is.
anything else different. So when somebody try to give me something less, I can't settle for that for less because that's not how I was raised. That's not what I know. You know what I mean? But like Max said, some people don't know how to, and it goes back to what Max said. Some people don't know how to do that. But I will say this: when I'm tired of building bears, and I hate to say that, but I'm a person. I'm very supportive of whoever I'm in a relationship. We try to compliment you, support me, I support you. But it gets to the point sometimes when you build somebody up, and then after you get done building them up and helping them, then they leave you out. The hanging to dry. And it's like not that it leaves you a sour taste in your mouth, but it's like I'm not about to keep building up people to be left behind, if that makes sense. And it's not that I'm thinking that a person is bad or anything of that nature, but I'm not gonna keep building up somebody and then, after I'm supporting you, I'm encouraging you, I'm motivating you, like, you wanna start a business, okay, what you wanna do, how we gonna get started, I'm gonna look up some stuff, I'm gonna help you, I'm gonna try to be resourceful. But at the same time, I don't wanna be to the person where I'm always giving, 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 giving and it's take, take, take. It's not an even playing field. So I guess it's just like, you know, and I'm not picky either, but I ain't gonna say this the last thing. I gotta be able to look at you. I ain't saying that you gotta be the finest thing in the world, but I gotta be able to I gotta be able to look at you if
You
that
ain't
makes sense.
wrong. You are not
I
wrong.
gotta, and I know how my family is. I mean, they're not gonna frown up on you, but I just know how my family is. It's just I gotta be able to look at you.
You
Like I
gotta
said,
be.
you don't.
You
Nah,
know
you know they gonna talk crazy. Don't just say it. You know they gonna talk crazy.
I'm not saying I'm the finest thing in the world, but man, I gotta be able to look at you, and it's just certain things that's that I don't want. So
That's why you ain't gonna give Fred Sanford a chance.
no.
exactly. So
Like ain't nobody coming down with Mr. Leroy.
right.
Absolutely not.
So
But
Natalie,
some people are.
it sounds like acts of service is your love language.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
Catrice,
said
what you got?
who you asked
Yes,
me?
ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Oh. Well, Natalie, I'm the finest thing in the world. You can call me the thick Lupita because that's who I look like. Just the thick one.
Okay.
Thick girl. We all fine. We all fine on this live. Okay. Um, I would say quality time and physical touch. That's why I be having a hard time being single, y'all. Cause I like the hugs and love. Man, if I had boyfriends over the year, I would probably have a bunch of babies. You
Wow.
so
Tell us
but
what you really want to tell us.
you you display yourself. Okay, you don't want to be out here, because me and they be always saying the body count, so you keep yourself at home. But physical touch and quality time.
Okay.
Yeah, I love love. Yes.
Max, what you got?
Mine, all of them. But I think mine's like more deeper, right? Mine's more like my love language is understanding and educating yourself,
Okay.
right? And when I mean educating yourself, like on me, like you need to learn me same way I'm learning you. You know what I mean? Like as we're in the same space with each other, I need you to be paying attention of what I like, what I don't like. You know what I mean? Like that's a love language for me because like I don't want you I don't never want to force something in your space that's uncomfortable for you and I wouldn't want you to do the same on my end either. So that's like utopia for me. Like that's love to me. You know what I mean? Like for somebody to understand like that I don't like this. You know what I mean? Like I may not like your family or you may not like mine, and I'm not gonna force you to go around my family. You know what I mean? Like don't do that. You know what I mean? And then because that may cause friction between us. You know what I mean? So that's how my love. Like I like all five of them. Like I read that book a bunch of times too. But you know what I mean. But I think mine's a little bit different. Like I just say, like I feel like it's the understanding and educating yourself on that person. Because like I say, from a man standpoint, like I like to study who I'm with. You know what I mean? Like that's how I am. I want to study you. I want to learn you. Want to, you know, it's just something that it does it for me. As a guy. And if that's reciprocated, then oh, it's up. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna end with mine. Mine's is acts of service, and I say that because I have an entrepreneur spirit, and I'm always doing, and I'm so used to being around takers, right? I'm used to being
Mhm.
around takers, and so when somebody do that one little thing or show up for me, it means the world to me because I'm not used to that. So that's what get my motors going. So with that being said, I thank you guys for taking time with me to talk about this. Again, this is my new therapy. Y'all be safe, and I appreciate y'all.
Talking to Natalie, you gonna come
Go
back
to
with
your
me,
Apple
girl.
or Google Play Store and download the WVTC Gospel Radio app today. You can also say, Alexa, play WVTC Radio Skills.
Would you like to play WVTC Radio Network?
Absolutely. Download it today.
Views made on the preceding program are not those of WVTC Radio, iNetworks Communications, or their financial supporters.
Winning victory through Christ, WVTC Allsip Chicago, and iNetworks Communication Station.